you have always wanted to be a pro wrestler from a young age. So if you want to kind of just talk about, what made you fall in love with wrestling, and then we'll get to everything else you've been through throughout your life.
Wrestling was just kind of one of those things that I guess it wasn't meant to be what I fell in love with, but it was meant to just kind of pacify me as a 3-year-old in 1987 as my dad plunked me down in front of the first ever SummerSlam coming from Madison Square Garden just to kind of, I guess, shut me up for a little bit. But I was enthralled. Just, it was cartoons come to life. You had larger than life characters, physiques, presentation. It hit all the right keys with me. And as I got older and started to go into elementary school, I was still a wrestling fan. Unfortunately, it wasn't the most popular thing at the time. And much like a lot of other folks, I was subjected to bullying and whatnot. And wrestling was always kind of my rock in the storm. And when middle school rolled around, that's when wrestling started to become popular. And you had the NWO and Steve Austin and Degeneration X. And it just, for me, was a very odd time, much like middle school age is always an odd time for a lot of folks. Whereas I was kind of a stream bean kid up until middle school. Then I hit my growth spurt. And I think, gosh, I clocked in at like 6'2", 230 when I was in 7th grade. So all of a sudden, all the bullies and the people picking on me kind of left me alone. But the real mind screw of it all was here was professional wrestling, something that I loved deeply, held on to like I said, like a rock in a storm, which I had to do again later in life. But now all of a sudden, everything that I was getting made fun of for was considered cool, and it was just like, wait a moment, like I
Funny how
watched.
that works.
I watched Monday Night Raw first. What's going on here?
Yep.
I didn't have the patent on it, but it was just like, wait a moment, this makes no sense. A couple of years ago, you guys were throwing things at me, making fun of me, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's so cool, that's so cool. So
Yep.